Hey guys, in today's video, we will be discussing about latest updates with Ethereum as well as BMNR. We'll go through updates that we got last week, as well as covering technical analysis, what the use case is, and my price predictions using indicators for 2026. Now, if you're new to this channel and you believe in Ethereum and BMNR, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing. Let's begin, guys. Let's first off start off with the post from Bitcoin AI guy. He's saying 2022 of December, Bitcoin was trading around 350 billion market cap. Today, Bitcoin is near 1.9 trillion dollars. Ethereum is currently $400 billion around where Bitcoin was 3 years ago at the cycle bottom. ETH has significant tailwinds that can push it to where Bitcoin is today, improving macro and favorable crypto regulation, institutional adoption of ETH, stablecoins, tokenization, DeFi, new markets such as prediction markets, stats, and more. Today's tailwinds for ETH are much stronger than what Bitcoin had December 2022. Bitcoin walked so crypto bros could gamble. The next 4 years could be explosive for ETH. 15 to 30,000 by January 2030 is my target. Bitcoin should conservatively be at 300,000 by then. So what does this, really tell you? I mean, the mother coin, Bitcoin and Ethereum will go up in the next, several years. We will see Ethereum having a nice run up with respect to Bitcoin. Now, most of you are wondering, which asset will perform better. Will it be Ethereum? Will it be Bitcoin this year? So far on this survey, we have, ETH outperforming Bitcoin this year 49%, with Bitcoin rated at 37%. Put it in the comments as to whether you believe Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin as well. Omar posted about MrBeast's scale from the investor presentation. He's pretty much a walking global broadcast. Let's take a look at Omar's post. Mr. Beast's scale from the investor presentation is nutty. He's pretty much a walking global broadcast network. You have 1 billion followers, three times the US population. You have 68 billion annual views. That's like 24 Super Bowl ads per year. You have 1.4 billion uniques. His content hits 15% of humanity. So who is Mr. Beast? I mean, on YouTube, he has like 64 million subscribers. He's definitely changed the game as we look at how social media is really transforming like the millennials and Gen Z. When you think about Gen Z, most Gen Zs aren't even invested into BMNR or Ethereum yet. So, as we start progressing with respect to time, Gen Z will be the leading group that will have, will be entering the workforce, will be generating cash flow. They'll be having income and they'll be able to make investments similar to what millennials do. So that's really the cycle of life. And this is why I think this is very bullish for BMNR to set up the stage for long-term success. And that's going to be through, engine avenues like MrBeast. BMNR Bulls posts Tom Lee's BitMine could be a crypto Berkshire. You have 4.1 million ETH held long term. You have continuous ETH staking for, cash flow coming in. You have up to 400 million annual staking yield at full deployment. You have 200 million allocated to Beast Industries, 20 million, allocated to Orb's moonshot investment. So investment framed internally as a potential 10 bagger. So ETH stays on the balance sheet, yield funds grow. So, this is why we BMNR and we believe in Tom Lee. The professor poses to all BMNR holders, if the crypto market keeps moving up, this can hop from $30, $40, $50 like a kangaroo. Just wanted to say it. So obviously we see some huge upside, especially with the retracement we've seen over the many months so far. BMNR and MNAB tracker poses, it took MSCR over 3 years to accumulate over 13 billion in assets. It took BMNR 6 months. Put that into perspective. The speed that this company has moved is incredible. Yes, strategy, they started, many years ago during COVID time, but when you look at the rate of growth, the rate of speed to execution, I mean, Treasury Holdings, when you compare BMNR to MSTR, BitMine has been executing. They're firing on all cylinders. You see this rate of accumulation has gone up significantly when you compare it to like Strategy, who's been doing it for the many years. What does this mean? How will this really add value? When we see Ethereum, price go up over time, BMNR is going to be a big time castle in the rise. Let's go through technical analysis. So we're looking at Ethereum right now. We saw that pullback. August time frame got 4,900. October, it hit 4,700. We thought we are going to have a breakout there. And since then, October, we had a pullback all the way down to like 2,600. Everyone got fearful there. We're beginning to see some nice continuous rising higher lows. One of the good things we saw is a golden crossing back in January 4th when price, broke above the 3,000 range. And now we're seeing support at around 3,300, which is definitely a good thing. As we see the moving average crossing, soon enough, we're going to, cross that 200 moving average. And as we look at just momentum indicators, what are we seeing? We got a red candle 4 days ago, which is definitely a good sign. We want to see that. And what I'm seeing on the charts is, when we look at trend ribbon, we've seen the trend, retrace down so much, but what we're seeing now is, the trend ribbon reversing, and now it's going to start climbing up. I believe that as we head through the rest of 2026, we're going to land somewhere at a minimum, reach beyond like 7,000 is my perspective. It can go even higher. Tom Lee has even said 9 to 12,000. So it'll be a matter of time. Let's see how high Ethereum can go. With respect to Ethereum, let's say if it breaks 7,000, 9,000, or even 12,000, what does this mean for BMNR? It's really a moonshot as to where, we're seeing, BMNR. At one point, we saw it go from like $3 to like 160. August timeframe, it shot up to $72 from, 31 within a matter of days. 41 to 65, and it retraced all the way down to 25. And, December time, we saw it bump to $43. Where we currently are at 31, if and when we see that run up, I definitely do see the upside. We're going to break above $50. That's for sure. I really even do believe that we have that use case to get back into that prior resistance, 65.70, as we head through 2026. Let's say ETH does a 1x from here. We're going to see that multiplier of like, 3 to 4x with BMNR. So where does that put BMNR? I think that we can even get to like that 90 to 100 in this year cycle alone. We've been seeing a lot of retracement. As we look at the technicals, price is getting very coiled up here. I mean, it's right around that moving average range. So eventually it's going to have that breakout. As we look at, the Ichimoku cloud, what are we seeing on the charts? I mean, it's getting close to that Ichimoku cloud, just a few dollars away, we'll be hovering back into the clouds. We break above the clouds, at around $40. It's going to be sunshine and rainbows. And, a lot of people are going to be talking about BMNR as the big time gem stock, which I believe it does have that use case for this year, as well as the rest of the many years to come.
So today we announced one of the moonshots, okay? You might be confused, so I'll explain to you why this is not confusing, okay? We made a $200 million investment into Beast Industries. I would say if someone said, what are you expecting to accomplish? If this was just like, hey, I'm going to make a $200 million bet into Beast, no brainer, okay? Because he is, I'm going to skip around. I'm going to jump. Because he is the iconic content creator of our generation. There is nobody more important to Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and Millennials. Now, I'm looking at the room, okay? I'm going to guess, okay, that the representative population of Gen Z, Gen Alpha is not here, okay? Because otherwise you guys would be using a lot of slang I don't understand. I see some millennials, but I see a lot of Gen X and a lot of baby boomers. Okay. So the thing is that you might think that we have gone off the rails, but that's not the thing. Okay. Mr. Beast is the number one content creator in the world. And if you're not following how important he is, first of all, he has 1 billion followers. Okay. 1 billion, there's 7 billion people on this planet. He has 1 in 7 people following him. But I'm going to say I only think there's 3 million people with internet accounts. He has like a third of all people that are on the internet following him. That's reach. For instance, he has the only person with more followers that are celebrities is Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay. And of all the creators, he's 1 billion. The next is, I can't really read the name. I need my magnifiers. Okay. 300 million. He is a giant among content creators. In fact, nobody's going to be able to become Mr. Beast again. I would say it's almost impossible for someone to, in the next 10 years, to get 1 billion followers. And he's created this organically. In fact, if you look at YouTube usage, Mr. Beast has more viewership than Walt Disney or Netflix or NBC or Paramount, Fox, Warner Brothers, or Amazon. Nobody's more watched in streaming world than Mr. Beast. Okay. And think about that for a minute. And the Super Bowl, which is considered, the global event, gets 256 million views on that event. Twice a month, Mr. Beast puts out a video, and each one gets 252 million views. His content is more watched than the Super Bowl. Okay. So he has 535 million views a month out of his 1 billion followers. They are super engaged. And now he does all these collaborations. That's the key word. Okay. He collaborates with all these people that you might care about somewhere on this grid. Okay. But he does content with them. And guess what? Actually, let me just jump forward. Well, yeah, let me back up then. Okay, so that's where it comes with us. So again, I'm going to start with what I just said. So if it was just a $200 million investment, guys, this is a no-brainer. This guy is the most important content creator in the world. And BitMine was invited to invest in their capital structure. Look at who else is allowed to invest. Social Capital, which is Chamath, Alpha Wave. Mr. Beast himself, he owns 51% of the company. We're the largest corporate and strategic investor in his company. So we are big. Okay.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this content. Really, what this means to me is, it's all about marketing, and this is going to really help through the collaboration between BitMine and MrBeast Industries to, get the word out there, understand DeFi, Ethereum, BitMine as a digital asset treasury, staking ETH, how it can really add value to shareholders. So this is why, BMNR is, taking this as an opportunity and investing into one of the biggest social media platforms out there through MrBeast. So definitely positive outlook. And, there's lots of people trying to digest this. How is this really going to be an opportunity for the company? But long term, setting up the stage for BitMine to become a very successful large cap company. Thanks, guys, for watching.